love you for who you are.
The
so
type
do
of
not change your
energy
person.
you put out is what you'll receive.
It's a process, honestly, but
Definitely.
it's not impossible. Take me for example. I'm learning to love myself every day, so I get the struggle. I do. So
For the first question, it says, in what aspects do females tend to compete with each other, and how can we break the cycle?
well, one, a lot of girls tend to like bring down other girls when it comes to like beauty. Beauty is a big like it's a big factor as to like, okay, like for example on Instagram, everyone uses Instagram or Snapchat now. One girl posts a picture of herself, like just regular, right? And then it can be like some other girl that thinks, oh, okay, like she can better take a better picture by what, showing a piece of her body, or like taking a body picture. And as she, well, in my opinion, not only are you competing against like other girls,
but you're allowing yourself to be justified through likes.
And you're not showing that self-respect each woman should have. Like,
and then are you really being like your true self?
Like, are you actually being what you say you are, or are you being someone that you're not?
I mean, like personally, like, I myself have a lot of morals, and they're definitely like family oriented. Like, to what extent are we willing to give up our morals just to be justified through likes, through social media? The second part of that question is, how can we break the cycle?
I think honestly, girls should just see it as like not competing, but like actually like hyping each other up, like no one is above anyone. Like we're not all the same, but like in that sense, like no one is higher than anyone. Like we're all the same people, we're all living, we're all breathing. Like, no, we should see it as like supporting each other and getting each other through anything and everything.
I think in like one way or another, we're all doing like the best that we can. Another question is, why is it that gossip holds more of your moral value as opposed to an individual self-worth?
Well, I mean, chisme is like something most girls, like every girl chisme, like come on, every girl does it. But I feel like there are some instances where girls, they take it a little bit too far. There's a certain extent as to how much respect you're supposed to have and how much of what you should say. But I feel like many girls get a little bit too involved in someone's personal business, and that's where they're wrong.
I think that's what it is. Like, females just become too invested with the wrong things. Like,
they don't focus on themselves more, and instead they focus on what other people are trying to do, and like they try to actually do better than what those people are trying to do. But sometimes it backfires because you're so focused on trying to beat that person. Like, referring to the last question, you're so focused on trying to compete against that person and trying to be better that you don't realize
lifting yourselves, working together, and like getting up there together.
Like, you don't realize you're causing yourself harm emotionally and physically, and you're making yourself look bad.
Not
like,
only that, but like
it
goes back to like our previous question, like how is it that we're okay with competing with each other to begin with? Like, if we all as females acknowledge the fact that we have so many like judgments put on top of us and whatnot, and knowing that, we still put each other down.
The bar is set way too high.
Don't have someone else be the reason as why you're making changes to your body, why you're changing as a person, why you're giving up your own morals. It's like, no, like if you want to do something like such as like plastic surgery, like I feel like that's something like big that a lot of females unfortunately like lean towards simply because they've had enough of it. Like simple things as just like working out or like having a diet for yourself is like that's our little changes that you can do that not only you'll see a like physical change but like mentally. Like what you do, it should be done to like better yourself, to make yourself feel better about yourself, not to validate what someone else has to say about you or change their opinion about you.
And the way I think of it is like there's nothing wrong with doing any of that stuff, it's not my business, and if you want to do it, like go ahead, it's your body, do what you want, but do it for your own benefit. Don't do it for someone else or trying to get approval. Like, always do everything for you. Never try to satisfy anyone else. And if they try to judge you or criticize you for the way you look, then no, that's a no.
Alright, so a feminist woman just called you a toxic man, right? And you feel bad. I mean, nobody wants to be called a toxic man or part of a toxic masculinity thing. So, I will give you some tips on how to stop your toxic masculinity. Alright, so first point, if you think this is what an actual average male should look like, then I'm sorry bro, but actually this is the way a male looks like. Second point, if you believe that a woman it's weaker than a man, or overall that a man it's overall stronger than a woman, let me show you this. Well, I don't know about you, but even me with these, I'm not able to lift that much. My last point. If you think that a man should be violent or act in a violent way to be a man or be considered a man, well buddy, we have to change that, because not you or me or her or him or they or everyone wants their face smashed, you know? It's not that cool. Not all of us wants our face disfigured, you know? It's not a thing I'm into. If you change these beliefs, well, congratulations, you're advantage into the positive masculinity. So congrats, man.
More shots fired, additional shots fired.
It has happened again.
Patrick Braxton Andrew, and that he was killed by a member of a drug cartel. Braxton Andrew was vacationing in Mexico.
Action with a double homicide.
Oh, God.
Multiple life sentences for murders
How
in
this
California and Texas.
I think society bases its beauty standards a lot of times on like one point of comparison, so we're always like comparing ourselves to this person or that person, and we can never just learn to find ourselves beautiful that way, because it always has to be based on someone else, and we always have to feel better than them or better than this or that.
So you know how like in the 80s Julia Roberts was the it girl, the body type? That's Kylie Jenner now.
I think that society's beauty standards are definitely double-sided. You see Kylie Jenner and all of her features, and then you see Nicki Minaj and all of her features, and yet we demonize one over the other. And it's very clear which one we will demonize and the other one we will uplift, and not to say that either one is bad. It's just saying that one is benefiting from the same features that another one isn't.
It's important not to compare yourself to anyone else.
Because comparisons breed envy and toxic standards that we hold ourselves to.
However, instead of comparing ourselves to other women, we should uplift those women for the standards that we have and what they have and what you share in your differences.
Mm-hmm. And it's like important when you're trying to uplift others that first you need to make sure that you're uplifting yourself,
and that you're secure with yourself and your own beauty.
Hi everybody, my name is Mamadou Diallo and I'm in ELIC 33 and Miss Jennifer Butts is my professor. And today I want to talk with you that the problem that the most of the teenager had, that is the cell phone addictions. So every day in my classroom I see some of my friends who are in their cell phone when the teacher is speaking. And after that, when we are going home, they are using their cell phone with their headphones to like texting or playing games or watching videos. So I'm asking myself, do they really know that can have that consequence? Do they really know that? So, why is it true that the cell phone is it's a mean of distraction, communication, or searches, but it haven't to be abused? So, too much time spent on a cell phone can hurt you in many ways, like causing you vision problems. And adding the headphones can hurt your ears because a lot of music can cause you too much vibration, and that consequence can be hair loss. So I want to talk with you that my history about a few months ago when I went to see the doctor at the hospital. So after 30 minutes to wait in the waiting room, he finally received me. So, and in short, when he received me, I explained him why am I here, my vision problems and etc. So after finished exams my eyes, he asked me the question that how much time did I spend in a screen in general in a day. So I just answered him that most of my free times, because if I'm not playing, I'm watching videos with my headphones. So, and he said that, oh, that's the cause of your illness, and the most of the teenager that you saw in the waiting room today. And he explained me that the risk can have of becoming blind in old age earlier or older, by explaining that the waves of the screen played a lot on the retina, and that if the retina became damaged, it will lose its force little by little, and it could not longer walk properly, and this will cause losing of the sight. Then he added that 20% of the children had sore eyes because of their they spent hour on a screen. And that was the doctor part. And after my research, I discovered that nearly 6,000 pedestrians were killed in 2017 crashes. That's tragedy. Yeah. So in conclusion, we must find a solution of that by inviting our friend, our son, who are teenagers, and discuss with them that the cell phone addiction, the consequence that the cell phone addiction can have in a teenager life. So, thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Sasha Godinez, and I'm going to talk about something that makes me mad, and that is watching a person treating another person badly. I get really upset when I see someone making others feel worthless just because they look different physically. Since when do we know what the value of a person is by the way they look? Having low self-esteem is worse than you can imagine. It can change someone's life in a bad way. We all have had bad days where we don't like the way we look, but when it's an everyday thing, it's a problem. Having low self-esteem can make it impossible to achieve personal goals from a growing shame, feeling that nobody loves you, and feeling insufficient in everything, and could create depression, anxiety, and loneliness, which only reinforces your negative self-image. I grew up without knowing what love is or what it feels to be loved. Many people hurt me when I was a child in many ways. Then I started believing all those lies and thinking that everything that had happened was my fault. Every time I look in the mirror, I would cry. I feel ashamed and disgusted by the way I look. I didn't like my body, my face, and everything. I just didn't want to be in this body nor have this life. I cry every night asking God, why does nobody love me? Why does everyone leave me? What's wrong with me? I was desperately looking for someone to just love me for who I was. I did many wrong things to have that love. They broke my heart even more. Then I was not eating, and all I did was lay in bed hearing music. I got anxiety, and I didn't know that I had problems, so I would try to ask for help. Because everyone say that if you know that you're not okay, ask or look for help. But they didn't say you need to be an adult to have an emotion. I told my parents, but neither of them wanted to listen. I had these weird human changes. I used to be a happy girl and a nice girl to everyone, but out of nowhere, I would get so moody. Then my dad would ask me what was wrong with me. With tears in my eyes, I answered him, "Dad, I don't know who I am anymore. I've been trying, but I don't want to live anymore. This anxiety is killing me. I just can't see the end of this." "But you can have anxiety. You're only 15, he said. "You're too young. You don't know what problems are." So then I tried to do it myself, but I couldn't. I was heartbroken. I cried. I wanted someone to hug me so bad that my parents would hug me and say that they loved me. But that was just a dream. I was depressed because I had a weak mind, and nobody showed me what love felt like and told me that it was okay to not be perfect. All the time, I was feeling useless. For years and years, I didn't understand what was wrong or what I was doing wrong. Now I do. I just needed self-love, to respect my body, and to understand that I'm a human and I don't need to be perfect. I didn't want to get close to people. I was scared that they would get to know who I really was. Then they were going to leave me, just like everyone else. I used to not get why people were so mean to one another, but now I do. And I don't blame the people who have hurt me, because they were probably hurt too. One day, I was on Instagram, and I saw this post that said, "If you act the same way they act with you, what's making you different?" We need to start spreading hate, because there's already too much in this world. You have to understand that everyone has flaws, but that's what makes you special. No one has the same flaws as you. I know how it feels to be down, feeling like you don't belong here, but I promise you, you're not alone. And your story does matter. We need to start treating people with love. We never know what they're going through. Everyone should feel that they are worthy, loved, and unique. Schools should start teaching kids self-love. There are girls, boys out there that feel the same way I did. And it's not your fault if someone raped you. If everyone has left you, there's nothing wrong with you. You're worthless than the girl, boy your ex left you for. You're worthless than anyone, or more than anyone. You are who you're supposed to be. You are loved, you are unique, and you are worthy. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Melanie Angulo, and today I would like to speak about something that makes me mad. It makes me mad being a woman I would live with the fear of one day never go back to my house and never see my family again. It makes me mad to be every day change my outfit just for avoid a little of harassment. Many women begin to sexual harassment for the early age. In my case, it started at 10 years old. When I was 10 years old, I went to the store. It was far to my house, so I decided to go by myself. So when I was walking to a store before this little store, it was 2 men standing off. When I passed in front of them, they began to say absolute things about my body. In that moment, I don't know what to do, so I just ignored them and keep walking. When I get out of the store, I passed for the same way, and they were in the car waiting for me, and I noticed they began to follow me, so I began to run. When I arrived to my house, I was crying, and I told my mom what happened. And my mom told me, you never go to anywhere by yourself. Every day I live with the fear, and this fear is like never go to my house, I never see my family, and I would like to society take more awareness about how sexual harassment is common and it is affecting the woman every day. So I have the idea to create a hashtag no more sexual harassment on the streets, and in this way the people will notice how common it is and how it's affecting a woman every day. Thank you.